Hey everybody, hi. Oh, how's it going? So can you hear me okay? I'm not gonna launch into anything. I'm not gonna start talking until I know that we're good. Oh, I'm not even gonna tell you. Okay, good. I'm not even gonna tell you. Well, now I can tell you. You want a show? Do you want a show? Because tonight's show, forget it. It's so jam-packed. Seriously, I'm very, very excited about tonight's show. I'm excited about the show because everybody's here. Yeah. I don't know. We'll see how long this lasts. But I'm excited because there are a few things. You're watching on your iPhone. Oh, boo. Padma. Sounds weird with the music. Hang on. If anything went wrong in anybody's day today, that was for you. Okay. So first of all, hang on. All right. So happy Mother's Day to any mothers of children, mothers of animal pets that they tend to and care for who could not take care of themselves were it not for you. Happy Mother's Day to those who give birth, in all of its forms, but not just like, I don't know. I mean, let's just get things straight. Like, I create a lot of stuff. I'm not a mother. It's not my day. Tomorrow's not my day. Tomorrow's Mother's Day. Thank you to the mothers who tend to the people who are growing. You know what I'm saying? To the beings who are growing. Plants, we love our plants, they don't count. If you literally gave birth to a human being, or you tend to the creatures of God's earth, right? You're a mother. And you're amazing. I don't know. I talked to a woman today. I'm going to tell you what I did today. Yes, we are all mothers of quilts. It's true. But there's quilting celebration day. And we can all just tie one on quilting celebration day. But we should, it's about moms. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, I was talking to this woman today. She was so interesting. I'd never met her before. I'll probably never see her again because she's moving away. And I'll tell you about my day here in a minute, because it's totally relevant, because I spent all day yesterday around quilt people, and I'm a very lucky person. Don't think I don't know it. I know it. I'm very, very grateful that I get to do what I do for a living, And this woman was so interesting, and she she's taught school for 13 years, and she's an artist, and she is going to go for it. She's gonna go for it. She's leaving her job as a teacher, and she's going to make art full time. And it's so cool, and it's so scary and amazing. But she taught during the pandemic, and she's not a mom, but she's a teacher anyway. I was just thinking about how I told her how much respect I had for her for teaching people in a pandemic, and it made me think about the people that I know who took care of children during the pandemic. And I know it's not over, believe me. You've probably heard it said, more people have, I've heard many people say what is also true for me, which is that I know more people who have COVID right now than at any time in the pandemic. Is that true for you? I know one of our own. Who was it wasn't Little Bird. Dana? It wasn't Dana. Anyway, someone just said last night that they were getting over COVID. And we hope you're doing better. If you're here, remind me. But anyway, but I mean, just these people who, mothers at home with the kids. Happy Mother's Day, today, tomorrow more than ever. And the quilt behind me, or the block behind me, has special significance to my mom because she made it. I'll tell you all about it. Kelly and Quilty Mouse and Susan Armichael. Oh, it's so good to see you. Molly, God bless you. I liked some of your Instagram posts today. It's me creeping toward you. Creeping. And Robin is here, and Tawny, Joyous Fibers. How is your lovely daughter? I hope she is well. Mother Nature and Bonnie and Charles. Happy Saturday indeed. Sonia, happy Saturday. Jan is here. Everyone gets a champagne cork. It's just, you know, if I do it for every time. Charles is here. Tammy is here. Saucy Stitch is here. Sonia's here. You know, we could be here a while. And if you don't want to say hi, that's totally cool. You can lurk in the show. It's totally fine. But the nerds are pretty cool. And if you want to say hi in the chat, we'd love to see you and say hello. And you get a welcome basket. You do. Immediately, instantly. You get an actual welcome basket emoji. So I'm changing some things around with the show. I love this show. I had kind of a revelation the other day about how it is true that I love this show. So I'm just gonna make this show, and I'm gonna do my best to do what I can to have more people know about it, because I think more people would, I think a lot of people would like it, because I know how much we like it. But I'm gonna make the content, and I'm gonna do that. And I hope that if you are tuning in for the first time, you will, you'll stick around to see what this is like. This is Quilt Nerd, and we talk about quilts and the culture of quilting and quilts in the United States and beyond. And we have 2 shows a week right now. The spring schedule is 2 shows a week. It's Tuesday night at 7 p.m. Central. And it's Saturday night at 8 p.m. Central. And every other Friday, we do a special Friday show, which I can tell you about later. But if you subscribe to the show, which I recommend you do, if you do, you get access to the Discord. We have a nice, we call it the Disco. Because disco is way better than Discord. I'd rather be at a disco than at Discord, you know. So we have a good time there, and it's just fun. And you can share pictures and talk to people, and people have made friends, and we've met up, some of us, you know. And that's cool. And then you don't have to watch any ads, because I don't run ads. Like, there's a button I can push to like run ads, and I don't do it as much as I could, but Twitch runs ads. But if you subscribe, you don't have to watch them. You don't ever even know that they exist. And you get entered into drawings, and you support the channel. If you like the content, it's like kind of awesome. Like, the best things you can do if you support the content is 3 things. 1, come to the show and engage, because this is for you. 2 is tell a friend about it who you think might like to check it out. And if she or he is like, Twitch, are you serious? You can be like, I know, I didn't know anything about it either. Neither did the host of the show. Until she saw a very cool millennial person using Twitch for a journalist. She's a journalist, and she uses Twitch. And I was like, if it's good enough for her, it's definitely good enough for me. So we use this. It's a great platform for live streaming. And the other thing you can do is subscribe. So $4.99 a month, a small price to pay, I think. And if nothing else, follow me, click follow, and you'll get a notification when I go live, and we can do this together. So here's another thing. So I'm gonna do announcements and like business at the halftime, because I want to get into the content, especially tonight, because we have so much. I got it. Quilty Mouse says Saturday night quilt nerdiness is your favorite. I don't know if I have a favorite. You know, Fran Lebowitz, someone asked her what her favorite New York moment was, or something. This Fran Lebowitz, the great writer and public intellectual. I saw her speak live, and someone asked her, what's your favorite New York moment? And she's like, I don't have favorites because I'm not 5 years old. I thought that was great. It's like, what's your favorite color? I don't know. I'm not a child. I don't have favorites. I thought that was pretty good. But yeah, so I don't have a favorite quilt nerd night. I like them all. Joyous Fibers, Olivia says hi. Excellent. Well, say hello right back. That's good. Stitch and Deb. Stitch and Deb is here. This is great. Pemberitos coming in with taco chips. Crosley at home. You flew to North Carolina today. Girls Week exploring artsy Asheville. I happen to know that North Carolina may be coming up for Quiltfolk. Elle Riggs is here, and Bonnie. Yep, you've heard about the COVID folks. Jill Alex. And Karen, and Kelly says we should start calling the disco Studio 54. We're doing that. At least You know what? You know what? Hold on. Hold on. Hold on. Excuse me. That's a Twilight Zone moment. When you said Studio 54, you'll see why in a second. It's super weird you said that, because I have a connection to that tonight with the content, which I'm going to start right now. Okay, so we always the show begins with a quilt behind me. It's the jump off. It's what gets us into the content for tonight's show. And there are several segments to the show tonight. It's a live stream, so we can go as long as we want. And I've got a lot to show you. So this behind me here, in honor of Mother's Day, and my mom, hey, my great cats, my mom had, I gotta get small. Help, I'm small. My mom has something tonight. I asked her about being here. She might be able to come. Hey, Patty Okra. Patty Okra, your first time here. It's your first time here because you finally figured out how to subscribe on Prime. You're new, you're here, and we are so glad you're here. And we call, you know what we call this sometimes? We call it Quilt Church. Thank you for being here. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you for trying something new. We appreciate you. I think you're going to have a lot of fun. Let us know. Let us know. But we appreciate you. Thank you very much. So mom has a thing. She's a very busy woman. And it's Mother's Day tomorrow, so she can do whatever she wants. But I thought I would honor her. And look at all those. Do you see those welcome baskets? Saucy Stitcher. Good to see you. Christine, hello. Those are for you. Those are for you. Okra. Fabulous. I love it. Patty Okra. So those are for you. Everybody's glad you're here. We are all cool. Jan Make Stuff says, we are all cool. And she's correct. I don't feel cool all the time, but I know that the people talking to you right now are. My mom is a great mom. And I'm 42 years old. She's been my mom the entire time that I've been alive. And she comes on the show from time to time, and I know people love it when she's on. I want to have her on more. We're talking about it. She'd love to. She's just, she's busy. Yes, retirement is, very busy for her. It's true. But I love you, Mom. And if we see you later, great. If not, I might talk to you soon. I don't know why, what the occasion would be in particular to call you and talk to you. But I want to show some of your patchwork tonight. And this is huge because my mom sewed this block. Now, as long as I have known my mom to make quilts, which is all of the time, all of my life, she has never done, as far as I know, I'm trying to think, improvisational patchwork, okay? It's not been a thing that she's done. My mother is fantastic at making quilts. Marianne Fons is known to the quilt community globally for making quilts that are really beautiful and wonderful. They are based in traditional blocks and patterns and things. And she has a certain style and whatnot. But the kind of try something out. She's designed her own stuff. But this workshop that she's taking, this Quiltfolk workshop, Patchwork and Prose. I used to be editor of Quiltfolk magazine. I was editor for years, but I stepped down in order to do other projects like this and projects for Quiltfolk, which I'll get to in just moments. Quiltfolk, they're running a workshop called Patchwork and Prose. And the workshop is the inspiration for the blocks that you make in the block of the month Patchwork and Prose program. The inspiration is book covers. And it asks you, the instructors who are brilliant, Jenny Smith and Kay Walsh, and I deliver a presentation every month, but the focus is the patchwork and the instructors who are so good. And you take a book cover each month and you make a block. You explore, you play, you just kind of jump into fabric and thread and your imagination and your love of literature, because so many quilt makers are readers. Not everybody is, and you don't have to be, but you take book covers and they help you really brilliantly to make a block that looks like the cover of a book that inspires you. And my mom is taking the workshop. And it's a stretch class for her. And it's a stretch class for a lot of people. Stitch and Deb says, is that a giant pair of scissors? Oh my God, it could be the opening shot from the movie. If you were here last night, we had a lot of fun last night. I loved last night's show. It was really fun. Because last night was a Quilters Newsletter Friday. So we had a lot of fun because there's a horror movie we're writing. Don't worry, you'll catch up quick if you stick around. Ms. Okra, don't worry. We have an idea for a horror movie. Anyway, so called The Quilt Maker. Okay. So my mom has not done improvisational piecing. She has not ever said, okay, I'm just going to start with an inspiration thing and then go. But she did this, and it does look like scissors. And her inspiration was this book cover, Frankenstein. And I want to tell you, you're horrible at Block of the Month clubs. Molly, I've never done one. I mean, I'm kind of doing one because I present a little thing each month, but that's not the same thing. Same. I'm a very bad guild member too. It's okay with me now. I'll pay dues, but I can't, I don't know. I get nervous in crowds. But I don't know. I can't do it. Padma. She's been my mom the whole 42 years. Didn't take a vacation. I'm sure at a few points in my 20s she would have liked to. Someone used her fabric scissors. Elle Riggs, you said it too. Miscellany is here. I'm so glad you're here. That's a champagne cork for you. My Great Cats is riding in the car watching Quilt Nerd. I love that. I love to think about all of you like in your lives, like doing your things. Like Molly is like trudging through the rainforest or something, like on some quest, and she's like, and like My Great Cats is like in the car, like driving someplace, and then somebody else is like walking in a city, and another person is like milking a cow, but you've all got your headphones in. It's like a montage for an 80s movie. Anyway, Fiandor, I saw you, by the way. I saw you in with the music. Thank you. So my mom, but the reason I want to show you this is because it's Mother's Day tomorrow, and my mom is a great quilt maker, and she taught me a lot of what I know. Not everything, because I've learned from a lot of people. But my mom is great, and we've had our struggles, I am 42. She has been my mom this whole time. It hasn't always been easy. And we're both human beings, so that's why it's not easy all the time, because we're both human, tragically human. But my mom has written a novel. And she wanted to write this novel for many, 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 many years. She has always wanted to write a novel. And she has always loved the story of Frankenstein by Mary Shelley. And she has had in her mind this idea for a novel about a woman, a writer who... The novel is about a writer and her relationship to Mary Shelley. And I'll say, I won't say too much about the novel because it will be published one day and you can read it, and I don't want to give things away. But my mom talked about writing this for about a decade. And I know because I worked with my mother on the PBS show for years, and we worked together for many years. And year after year after year, I would hear her tell me about her idea, and it's a great idea. And I would hear her tell me what she was going to do. And one day I said to her, you got to do it. You got to do it. You can't stop. You can't keep talking about it. You got to do it. And she did it. And she wrote it. And she finished it. And she has an agent. And the book is not yet published, but one day it will be published. And her odyssey of not being a professional, writer. I mean, she wrote books, technical books and instructions and things like that. But, novel writing is like kind of different, right? And my mom, didn't know how to do that, but she learned how to do it and she did it. And one day, I hope very much you will read my mom's book, and I've seen her do it. And it's like this show, it's like anything you do, you can't quit. If it gets hard, okay. But if you really want it, you can't quit when it gets hard, because people who do a thing, they don't quit when it gets hard. And my mom wrote a book and she finished it and she got an agent. And one day I hope that you will read her story. And so for her first block, She, yes, Stitch and Deb, I think she has talked about it on a podcast or, yeah. I mean, you may have heard her talk about it even on this show, but it's just great. And I'm really, really proud of her. Lainey Lou, wait a minute. Did I miss a new person? Wait a minute. Kelly. I also missed a highlighted chat. You know, if you really want me to see a chat, I think this is like only the second time I've even mentioned this, but if you really want me to see your chat, you can highlight it. I mean, I try to see all the chats, but if you want me to see it in particular, you can put bits on it. Is that right? You can like, if you watch the show all the time, you probably have a lot of like bits that you've accrued. It's a Twitch thing. And you can like highlight your message. You can spend some bits and highlight your message like Kelly just did. And now it's like, so Kelly says, oh, I don't know if it's highlighted for you, but it's highlighted for me on my screen. And it's like, okay. And it's easy for me to see when I glance down. Kelly says, okay, so technically would Frankenstein's monster be a quilt? He's definitely some kind of patchwork. Okay. Interesting. Yes. And that's a weird moment because I also have something, the next series of things I'll show you have to do with patchwork being sort of applied to different kinds of making. And it could even include making monsters. I don't know. We'll see. We'll look at that. But I see a Lainey Lou. Let me see here. Someone welcomed Lainey Lou. And Lainey Lou, if you are new, which rhymes, we're really glad you're here. I appreciate you. I'm glad you came to the show. We have a good time here. And yeah, it's a crack up. Really, that's just what it is. It's a crack up. I'm trying to find your original post here, Lainey Lou. I don't know. Everybody's saying hello, so I'm saying hello to you as well. And I'm glad you're here, and I hope you enjoy yourself. So, happy Mother's Day, Mom. You're great. You're a great mom. And this is your first block, of course. Now, okay, what are we looking at? What is this? I'm just going to tell you briefly. Thank you, Robin's Nest. Oh, thank you, Robin's Nest. Thank you to my mods, including Robin's Nest, who helps. Oh, wait, Lainey Lou, you're not new, but you've been tardy for a few months. Okay, yeah. I mean, I feel like usually if it's a first time chat, I can see that on my screen too. So maybe you're ringing a bell now, but it doesn't matter. I'm glad you're here, and we all are. So today, yesterday and today, I've known that this weekend was going to be a lot for a while, because yesterday and today I was filming for Quiltfolk. So Quiltfolk is a magazine, but so we don't usually film things. I mean, we have workshops and things, but I'm filming some things, and I'm not being coy or being weird when I say I'm not going to tell you much more about it. It's because it's in kind of a test phase and stuff, and I love working with Quiltfolk, and I am so honored to be a part of sort of this new, exploration. And so yesterday and today, I was on location all day. It was crazy. It's crazy. I had to stream last night and tonight. This weekend is intense. But I have a lot of energy because it's really fun, everything. A lot of hard work, but still fun. And yesterday I was at a quilt maker and garment maker's home with Azuri and Trevor. Azuri is one of the dearest people to me in this world, and her partner Trevor is fast becoming another. He's great. So the crew is 3 people who's been going on location to do a few stories on video. And I did 2 different locations today, one yesterday, and I just wanted to show you some pictures I took with my phone, because we talk about the past here. We talk about Kelly, isn't it cool? It's so great. Okay. So we talk about the history a lot on this show. We talk about quilt culture. We talk about things, about quilts and quilt makers that we don't know, like if you go to the 25th anniversary gala party of the International Quilt Museum, which is coming up later this month, you'll get to meet Pauline Burbage and Penny McMorris and Michael James and Mary Kay Waldvogel and all these really cool people, Carolyn Maslumi. and, all kinds of neat people. But most of the time, I mean, we don't know the people we're talking about on this show. But, quilt culture is happening all around us in our communities. You're part of it. You're part of quilt culture. And yesterday and today, I got to be in the culture of quilts in Chicago as we test out some video, as we do some exploration with Quiltfolk, media, you could call it. So today I went to one of the coolest, it was the coolest thing. It was so cool. We went to go see a workshop happening. This young woman, Amanda Harth, is, she's an incredible person. And she is an artist in residence at the School of the Art Institute of Chicago. And she's at the Homan Square campus, which is on the south side of Chicago, in the old the original Sears Tower. Okay, so you've got like some pretty cool history as well. So, oh my God, are people going on? Okay. Raffle Waffle, that's right, Raffle Waffle's gonna go to the thing. When is the gala? Friday, May 20th, Saturday, May 21st. There's all of these open events. I mean, you can hear Penny McMorris give a keynote address. You can meet Mary Kay Walvogel. Mary Kay Walvogel, who often comes to the show. Oh, you know who else is going to be there? Jonathan Olstein. Meg Cox. Linda Pumphrey, Barbara Brackman. And Mary Kay Walvogel, come on. You win selfies in Quilt Nerd world. Okay. Also, let me just tell you, I have a quilt to show you tonight. I bought another weird quilt. Yeah, it's the weirdest. It's the weirdest one, maybe. I'm gonna get to that next. So I went to the old Sears Tower. The Sears headquarters, in Chicago on the south side in Homan Square. And I know. And Amanda Harth is teaching. Today was the last day of a 4-week workshop called Blue Circles. And Blue Circles, so that's Trevor. We have a team of 3, the Quiltfolk team of 3 is me and Trevor and Azuri. Trevor and Azuri are married. They're doing their wedding in Iceland in a few months. I've been working with Amanda and working with SAIC, the School of the Art Institute, to come and film the last day of this workshop, okay? And Amanda, this is a family quilt that she brought. These two here on the right, toward the wall. Those are family quilts. The quilt on the left for me. Sometimes I'm not sure if the screen is reversed for you, but this dyed piece here, this quilt with the pink patch and the sort of shibori tie-dyed looking piece, she made that. She's using denim in this workshop, using denim because denim is interesting to her for many reasons, partly because the connection with African American culture in America, and denim as a material, as a textile that is deeply embedded in the African American experience, is fascinating to her, and for good reason, because it is a fascinating area of study and of investigation. There's Trevor setting up the stuff. This was this morning, you guys. This is what I was doing. The weird quilt collection. It got a lot weirder today. So yesterday when that quilt came. So this is a family quilt of Amanda. So Amanda, and as I was researching her and looking at her work and this class, I learned more about denim, you guys. And denim, it's a fascinating thing. Many of you will know about it, but just, the use of denim by, this is her sketchbook, so cool. But the use of denim in work clothes, we know that, right? We know that. But the indigo crops, that was the first crop really in America, in the new world. Cotton came later. First it was indigo, and of course enslaved people were harvesting that indigo and planting it. They taught people how to plant it, from West Africa. Anyway, so indigo dye. Amanda Harth also makes candles, and I thought this was amazing. Indigo dye, indigo plants, processing indigo, making denim clothing, the people working in the fields wearing denim clothing, the hip hop culture, especially in Chicago, and the presence of denim there. But of course, the presence of denim in quilts. I mean, come on now. It's so important. It's so important. The breeches quilt, look up here. The breeches quilt, we've seen them. We know them well. I showed a few breeches quilts a few weeks ago. In fact, I showed you a few denim breeches quilts because you wouldn't have known it then, but I said it at the time. I was like, I'm sending these images to someone I'm working with on a story. And it was Amanda, and that's who I was talking about. So I sent images over there to her to see. So this quilt with this pink patch, she made that, and she did all the indigo dyeing that you see on that quilt. So this workshop is a community workshop, which means it's free. It's open to the public here in this old, Sears Tower building before they moved downtown into now what is the Willis Tower. But so there were other instructors, and this woman, Alexandria Iregbu, was just like amazing. She's amazing. Okay, I can talk about her too. And this man, Michael White, I gotta tell you more about him. So Amanda's the lead instructor, and they're working with denim, and they're making a community quilt. And today was the last day of the workshop where they were gonna sew their quilt together, and they couldn't have been lovelier. We interviewed not everybody, but a bunch of people from the class. The quilt's amazing. This is the quilt here kind of behind me. Oh God, it was just awesome. Yeah, chef's kiss, exactly. It was just so great. And I'm just really grateful. And I just wanted to tell you that's what I was doing today, because, and I've got a few more things to show you about what I was doing today and yesterday. This was the space we were in. This is the old Sears Tower. Fascinating, right? So it's not all Art Institute owned, but they own several floors, the 10th and the 12th floor. And let me tell you, you can tell. Look out there. Look at this view of Chicago out that window. Hang on now. All right, hang on. Can you see that out there? Can you see? You could see for miles. It was crazy. It was so cool. Elrig, so inspired by denim right now. Working on my own, but mending the holes with sashiko-ish patches before I can put it together. Yes, a lot of the denim that Amanda was showing me, yeah, the big stitch quilting, the sashiko style quilting makes sense for denim because it's so thick. It's hard to stitch through. And she was also, because I recognize one of her pieces, I know a little bit about shibori, just like a little bit. And I was like, I told her that, like, in the interview, I was like, I know a little bit about shibori, which is a Japanese technique. And she was like, oh yeah, it's totally crazy that Japanese techniques and techniques of dyeing fabric from China were, totally present in West Africa too, which is really interesting. Do you know, I read something, of course I don't have any selfies with Amanda. I didn't think to take, I was busy, I'm running around producing a thing, so I can't be like taking pictures all day, but this is Amanda here in the center, in the blue top. I read this statistic in a book there at the space, actually. At any given time, 1/2 of the world's population is wearing denim. 1/2 of every country. On any given day, 1/2 of every country, like in the world, 1/2 of the population is wearing denim. So this is Amanda, and this is her partner. I mean, I don't know if it's a partner. It's certainly her business partner, Fenton. Amanda doesn't just she's not just like the artist in residence at SAIC, which is a very prestigious thing to get, very competitive, prestigious thing. She's not just, a quilt maker and an artist. She started this Monday coffee company. And I mean, they're just she's just amazing. She's this entrepreneur, and she says she's a part-time entrepreneur, but really she's like an entrepreneur. And I love this picture. But she's just a really fascinating person, and quilts are part of her life. And she's teaching quilt making, and she's using quilt making in her life, and she's telling about it, she's talking about it. So when I talk about quilt culture and why this show is important, it's important because it's happening now. Publications are so great. We talk about books all day here, but it really is happening, and you're part of it, and Amanda's part of it, and the students at the workshop are part of it, and Quiltfolk is part of it. And I like this format. I like talking about live streams because we can talk about it right now and see what's happening right now. Listen, we all have ideas about the projects, how they're going to turn out, and sometimes they don't turn out that way. Why do I just look so, I think it's this top. I think this top makes me look like a vampire. Anyway, speaking of fashion, and fashion that's actually awesome. So that other guy, I told you, the other instructor, Michael White, he's an older fellow at this point. I could have talked to him for 9,000 years. Let me tell you who he is. This is Diana Ross, okay? This is Diana Ross. By the way, the person, let me just show you. The fellow this is Michael White, okay? This guy, okay? He has the best smile ever. Okay. So he was the other instructor. Next to him, Alexandria Egrebu. And she's an amazing artist too. But so Michael White, he designed those pants, and that is Diana Ross. He has been working with denim and patchwork since the 1970s, when he was like the coolest guy on the planet. He designed patchwork clothing for Bob Marley, for Neil Armstrong. Oh yeah, Neil Armstrong. Bob Marley, Neil Armstrong, Shaka Khan. He hung out, he was in San Francisco in the 70s. He was like hanging out on the Haight-Ashbury with Miles Davis. This guy, I met him today, I talked to him. And he loved my shirt and he loved my shoes. I was like, ugh. And they are Jimmy Choo. I was like so happy that I was wearing something that, he liked. But he was lovely. Look, this is Rufus and Chaka Khan. And he was teaching today, and he's a quilt maker person. Anyway, I'm not telling you this to like drop names. I'm telling you this was amazing. This all around us. It's all around us. And I love Chicago, and I'm very grateful to live here. And there's really, really neat things happening all around us, okay? He was cool before we all knew the term. Thank you, M. Hicks. Exactly. Actually, yeah, he's a Quilt Church moment for sure. Groovy, exactly. And you know what, I know, Kelly, when I saw the pants, when I saw those, I was like, oh, I've seen that. Like, I know that of course, they're iconic. I've seen that style in the 1970s. He said Anne Margaret, those pants Diana Ross was wearing, he said Anne Margaret passed, it was in LA, and she like passed by a shop, and she went and tried them on, but they didn't fit. So then Diana Ross went in and bought them. Oh. The picture of the cheese as I kind of wrap up this little section. But I had to tell you this. I mean, oh my God, I can't just keep this to myself. I can't not tell you. So this cheese was in the second location that we went to today. And it was delicious. Provided by Jonathan Armstrong, and I picked these stories, I picked the 3 stories that we're working on for this project, and I picked them for their dynamism, because when you're an editor, you got to fill a thing with interesting stories that I think need to be very different from one another. I think they need to be, anyway. So we had this workshop class, that's a story. And then there's this fellow, Jonathan Armstrong, who does collage work. He does quilts, but he also does collages with paper and thread. And the more I look at things with you all, it's Quilt Nerd, it really is Quilt Nerd, the more I look at work with you all that kind of like toes the line between quilts and fiber explorations, the more I look at things like Marie Watt, the more I look at, Jonathan Armstrong using canvas and paper and thread to make work that is obviously quilt adjacent or quilty. The more I look at this stuff, the more I am intrigued, and the more I see how important all of this stuff is to the conversation of textile art and people. So I do want to pause 1 second because I need to say, Robin's Nest says, my husband rarely wears denim, mostly due to his work. He worked in a plating company. Okay, they put gold, silver, and other minerals on computer parts, etc. The acids and other chemicals needed destroyed denim. Interesting. Now he wears uniform pants for work. I can sometimes get him to wear denim on the weekends. I mean, tell him he's just got to be part of that number of half of the population on the planet wearing denim. It's some kind of denim. Denim's come a long way, man. I mean, you can find denim for every person. If he wants baggy, if he wants bodycon, if he wants some nice stretch denim, Robinson S, I'm sure you can find it. Kelly Ermagerd. Quilting Politics says, in 22 years of marriage, my hubby has bought new pants 2 times. It's not okay. It's not okay, but it is because we love him. This stuff is so cool. Exactly, Raffles. So Jonathan Armstrong and his lovely wife, who was the teacher, who's going to give full time to her art, who taught during the pandemic, he does this stuff. And so we went and talked to him. This is a quilt he made. And you know what this is? We talked to him about it today. And I got to see this quilt, and it's even better in person. He made this quilt for a buddy of his. And his friend wears flannel shirts, like always. Like Northwest, this guy's from Seattle. Jonathan Armstrong's from Seattle originally, and he had a friend who wears flannel only, and so this is inspired by his flannel shirts, and so it's basically like a super close look at flannel, and he turned it into a quilt pattern. So this guy is making, it's so great, Molly, right? I mean, so he's doing this, and he's doing this, and he's doing this, and it's so great, And then the last thing I just want to show you is who we visited yesterday, Caitlin Pike. Caitlin Pike makes garments like this. Again, big stitching, man. It's really out there. So this is a garment I wanted to talk to her because she makes quilts, but she also makes garments, some of them. I want her to make me a jumpsuit. She doesn't do a lot of garments anymore, but she does still take commissions, and I want to wear one of her jumpsuits because I don't ever want to wear any clothes that I used to wear. The pandemic really changed things. We call the the pants we wear now, Eric and I, there's the outside pants and there's inside pants. Azuri and Trevor call them hard pants or soft pants. Hard pants or soft pants, and I'm in my hard pants right now because I came directly from our last location with Jonathan. Got here at 7:00, So I'm in my hard pants. And anyway, she makes these, she designed a beautiful jumpsuit. And I'm like, you know what? I think that's all I want to wear anymore. I think I want to get 2 jumpsuits from you, and I'll just wear those because I don't know how to dress anymore. I don't know. Anyway, these are her designs. She has wonderful things to say about how she designs. And it was so interesting too, because you could say okay, so she's in the modern quilt world. No, she's not into Instagram. She has it. She has to promote her thing sometimes, but she says, I care about nature, but I don't my quilts aren't about nature. They're about the feeling that you get when a moment happens to you, in nature. I'm not explaining it very well. She was much better at that. But she's the flying geese. This is the jumpsuit, and that's Caitlin. God, I love it. Isn't it great? When you look at this jumpsuit, to me, I think when I looked at it, I was like, well, that was designed by a woman. It was obviously designed by a woman because that tie, that it's a wrap tie that ties in back. Ugh. I mean, it's like a corset, right? Sewing Karen. I had to wear hard pants for 5 hours today. I'm sorry. Oh, that's so funny. Many duck quacks to your comment. Sorry. I had to wear hard pants for 5 hours today. It's it's a fate worse than death, isn't it? It's not fair. But this, you never like jumpsuits? Does it have pockets? You know what, Molly? That is actually the real test. If it has pockets, it's a perfect garment to me. If it's not, it's not, because it has to have pockets. But anyway, I love a tie. I love to sort of feel belted in, so I can feel the difference between my body and the rest of the world. Does that make sense? I just need to have that understanding. Anyway, it's great. I don't love the sleeves. Anyway, I might have, a longer sleeve. The point is I want to wear jumpsuits only. These are Caitlin's things, and she's really cool about her process. She doesn't care about what other people are doing, like trend wise. She kind of came to quilt making at the time that the modern zeitgeist was beginning, but she was like, I want to make stuff that feels right, and if some stylistic things are the same, that's cool, but like, I don't know, she does her thing. She has a day job. She does communications. She's like, that's the way for me. I don't want to worry all the time about being a full-time, freelance maker or whatever. I mean, she's just cool, man. I totally dug talking to her. And she had a really cool house in the suburbs. Molly gets the jumpsuits. You don't have to worry about multiple pieces of clothing. That's what I'm saying. It's simple. It's one and done. No line, no wait. That's what I like to say to Eric. I'm like, Eric, let's go in there and get a taco. No line, no wait. Quilting time. I saw some jumpsuits at Old Navy the other day, and all I could think of was Devo, the band from the 80s. Listen. Whip it good. Quilting time. I know, L. Riggs, when you gotta go to the bathroom and you're in a jumpsuit, it can be a problem. Especially if there's like a tie and a zip. And it's not stretchy, and you have to like shimmy out of it. Yeah, I know. We've all been there. Padma, jumpsuits question mark. My mother once bought me a neon convict orange sweatshirt. Oh God, jumpsuit. Wait, neon convict orange sweatshirt jumpsuit. It doesn't sound promising. She said I could wear it to work. What work? You wore it for pajamas until you had to take out all your clothes. Take all your clothes off to go to the bathroom. See, there you go. In the middle of the night, freezing cold, the sleeves ended up in the toilet. Oh no. To be fair, I had a jumpsuit that had a really long tie in the back, and it also met the commode for a moment. Not tragically, but it's not great. Peeps flying jumpsuit. You know what? Okay, enough jumpsuits. So here's something fun. Let's continue. You want to see my word quilt? You ready for this? What I realized I didn't do yet is I didn't pull up my theory about what we're looking at. I know, just everybody calm down. I believe that this is, I believe what you're looking at. Yes, I know. What do you think it looks like? What comes to mind when you look at this quilt? Yeah. I saw this quilt on some auction site. I don't remember. I can't tell you. I don't know. I'll try to find it. If I find it, great. If I don't, I don't. But it was some auction site. It wasn't a lot of money. I don't have a lot of money to spend on quilts, nor do I have any. Thank you. Exactly. Wait, what do I need? What do I need here? What do I need? I don't know. Church? I mean, so exactly. Kenny, you've come to the party right in time. I'm so glad you're here. So, I saw this quilt, if a quilt is if it's over $300, like I just can't do that. So it wasn't that much. I can tell you that. I saw this quilt, and obviously I bought a quilt, Kenny. That's where we're at. And I just started talking about it. So it's a hoo-ha. Oh my God, with teeth, Molly. Yeah. Kissing shrimp. Oh my God, wait a minute, I got it. It's a hoo-ha with teeth. Kissing shrimp. Uterus, womb, uterus, shrimp hearts. Uterus, midwifery, miscellany midwifery. Y'all with the hoo-has. You're coming with the hoo-has. Quilting Politic just says, yep. I don't know what that means, but I love it. Yep, you win. I love you. Pemberito says, I love you, Molly. Fallopian tubes, M. Sujan. Hello, M. Sujan. Then there's Kenny like, hey, everybody. It's like, oh my God. Saucy Stitcher, you see defibrillators. Defibrillators. that's the other thing. I couldn't put my finger on it, but that's the other thing that I saw. Defibrillators, exactly. Yep, thank you, Bonnie, for that. This looks like a uterus to me. Big, being a nurse. Yeah, you're a nurse, so it's like a uterus. The quilted walls of a woman's under area. Interesting. My God, it's Twitch just followed. Hey, thanks so much. Welcome to a really weird quilt on a very good quilt show. I'm really glad that you're following. I hope you enjoy the show. And I said the same thing when I got on Twitch. My God, it's Twitch. So I bought this quilt, and yeah. So here we have like the full Monty, the hijinks indeed. So it's Molly says it's an angry Georgia O'Keeffe painting. I'll drink to that. Or Alien Squared. Oh, Jill, Allie, y'all are gonna have to read Jill's comment. Sorry, I'm not going there, Jill. I mean, I would, but you're ridiculous. You know, people think quilters are like, you know, tame or like quiet or whatever. We're rowdy. We're rowdy. Look, just say 5 minutes, you'll see it. I can think of 5 people you can send it to. Fern, Franz, Padma, exactly, Fern, Franz. So the Georgia O'Keeffe vibe, Kenny's right there. So so this is the workspace, by the way, that I rent. This is the communal area where the dishes are constantly overflowing in the sink. I make the coffee around here. Seriously, I know how to make the coffee. I'm usually the first one to do it. Anyway, the point is, I couldn't be more grateful for this space, especially because this morning when I got here at 6 a.m., preparing for my long day of filming, I was like, oh, this is great, because the quilt came yesterday. And I was like, oh, I can take some pictures of it in the main room of the office. And so that's what I did. It's not in great shape. Here it is. It's with me now. She's with me now. She's not in great shape. You know, she's seen better days. God, doesn't my phone take great pictures? I'm an Android girl, so it has a great camera. Anyway, so we've got some damage, you know, But it's in good enough shape that I was like, well, but it's so crazy. It's so bizarre. I mean, so yeah, it looks, oh wow, M. Hicks, this is pretty appropriate concerning what's happening with the Supreme Court. I mean, I can't even. When was it made? Hang on. Actually, I meant to grab that information because it's very interesting what the person said. So, okay. So I got it on Cherish. Oh yeah, and I remember because there are some really weird quilts being sold on Cherish right now. I have a folder of like weird Cherish quilts. Cherish this. Hang on, Cherish. If you've ever been to cherish.com or something. Okay, so I was looking around for the show. You know, I'm always looking. I'm always thinking about you guys, looking for stuff. And I found this and I was like, oh God, it's just too good. So I bought it. And the person who sold it to me wrote a little note on the invoice. And she said, I have to admit, I was a little disappointed when it sold. I had it in my collection forever. It's so old, you can see the cotton and seeds in it. And you can. And if you've ever seen a quilt where you can see the seeds, it's exciting. It's just really cool, right? It's just really cool. And there was a woman that I interviewed for Quiltfolk Magazine back in Louisiana, issue 7, who talked about scrapping cotton, and her family, they were sharecroppers, and they were like allowed by the people who actually owned the land to go out and like pick the last little bits of cotton for their own purposes. Anyway, so there were a lot of seeds in their quilts. Anyway, I hope I'm not missing too much of the chat. So artfully placed hoo-ha heart. Y'all are ridiculous. Is it an ink blot test? See, I couldn't wait to show you all this. Okay. So, okay, you can't see in this picture. You can't see. This is the back. I'll get some better pictures of the separation of the batting and the seeds and things. But So here's what I think is going on here. So obviously it looks like it's very feminine symbolically. I've never seen a quilt like this. And by the way, you know, in terms of collecting quilts, like there are collectors like, you know, Kirchhoff and I mean, Mary Kay Waldvogel has amazing quilts and things. Like I know that this quilt, many other seasoned collectors would say, oh, it's very interesting, but you know, but I don't know. I just get things that I think are just too weird and wonderful. There are weird quilts that are not wonderful to me, but this one was. I mean, come on. It's a heart for one thing, which I dig. It's also that red that I love, but it's also like you made that block and then you were like, yep, that's it. That's the one I want. I'm going to make 10 more. You know? It's like, yeah, the uteri, they look like uteruses. And then with like the, and so with the little, cause see, look, okay, so look here. So there's this plume. Look at it like a plume. Each side of the heart is made with like this shape, okay? And then there's this, they're joined with like this joint, you could say, at the bottom, okay? So I was looking at this and I was like, where does this even come from? And then I realized, I was like, oh, these were leftover pieces. What I think it was, exactly, Kenny. Yep, Jill collects quilts she likes, period. That's it. So what I think is, what am I thought it was coxcomb, but I think it's something else. Hang on. There is a quilt pattern that has feather motif, a certain it's not coxcomb. Hang on. I can't believe I didn't pull this up before. I'm sorry. I thought oh, here. Okay. Is this it? It's a traditional pattern of quilt. There's sort of like a spinning star flower motif. Sorry, I'm looking at it on the fly. This is good enough. This is gonna have to be good enough. It'll work for right now. And I think these pieces that were used, this is gonna have to do right now, you guys, sorry. I think that the pieces that were used in this quilt were left over from a coxcomb or, you know, feathered star variation quilt. And here's why. It's not perfect, okay? It's not perfect. But those green, that thing. Oh dear, what's going on? So on positive threads. So on, what's going on? I want to be here, but you're having location-based connection issues. It's me, not you. I'll catch the replay. Damn. So on, here's what I feel about your connection issues. Here's what I think about you. Please watch the replay and see what else happens with this crazy quilt, okay? Plume. Yes, Pemberito, plume. That's what I want. That's what it is, plume. Hang on now. Plume, vintage quilt. Let's see if I can just get it. Because, yeah, I mean, it's, I got it. Oh my God, I got it. Oh, I got it. Hang on, everybody, just hang on. I tell Eric sometimes, hold on, and he goes, I'm holding on. Okay, this is it. You ready? Look at this. Ready for this? Wha-bam. Look. Yes! Who did that? Who said that? You get something. What can I give you? Who said plume? Pemberito. Pemberito said plume. That's what I'm talking about. Do you see? Do you see what I'm talking about? Look at that. So to me, this person, of course, this is slightly different, right? But it's that. Isn't it that? Isn't it two of these put together? I got it. Chunky plume. It's got to be that, right, Ivy? So And what that means is how they're joined together, you know? Like I think that sort of, yeah, that joint at the bottom of the two coxcomb sides was just a way to, you know, I mean, all of these are joined in the middle by a dot. And so I think the person who made the quilt just went with that. It's appliqué on top. And so, I'm so glad you said plume. It was going to really make me mad if I couldn't show you a really good example. Looks like she elongated them. Yeah, exactly. What I was thinking, Kenny says, is that maybe the hearts were what plumes were cut from. Hearts were what plumes. Oh, the negative image. That's interesting. Totally. Well, I mean, I don't know. I mean, there's a few of these, you guys, that I see, and you know I see so many. We all see, if I see them, you see them pretty much. And it was just too interesting. It was too interesting to not buy. And I bought it, and I could have spent my money on something else, and I didn't tell Eric about this. Not that I need to like clear it with him, but if you're watching, darling, I bought this. I'm not going to hang it up at home. I don't know. It's fabulous. And it's just so female, you know, being one, like I'm interested in that. So anyway, that's it. That's my weird quilt. That's my latest one. It's a vibe. It's such a vibe. Great use of negative space. Yes. Kelly's got to run. The hubs just brought your sushi. Ooh, sushi. I haven't had sushi in forever. That sounds really good. Enjoy your sushi. Have a little wine. And tell your husband that we think he's great. And he went out and got dinner. That's awesome. Okay. All right, everybody. Well, that's the halftime. We're at halftime. And this is what we're going to look at when we get back. I told you it was a great show. I told you tonight's show is like the best. It's the best. So we're going to come back and look at that in just a few minutes. So take a break, grab some crisps, and I'll see you in moments, really. Okay. I don't want to hit the wrong thing. That's always a drag. Okay. Be right back. that a pancake bed behind me? Oh, that pancake quilt bed thing? Yeah, it is. It's a pancake. Would you like to come sit down? Great. Okay, everybody. What is Myra doing? Myra. Bonnie, you asked about the approximate date for the heart quilt. You mean the uterus quilt? Help, I'm in a uterus. Sorry. Wow. This is quite the Saturday night show. I don't know, Bonnie. I gotta get small. Hang on. Help, I'm small. I think maybe, I don't know, man. I mean, I'm not a quilt dating expert. But I think I would say circa 1900. I could be wrong, but I think I'd put it around there. It's not older than 1880, and I don't think it's newer than 1920. So that's really rough. But I mean, I don't know. I think that's safe. So it was not made in the 30s, I don't think. God, someone out there, I mean, maybe not now, maybe not tomorrow, but someday, I'll just be people will be hooting with laughter that I would even try to take a stab at that. But I don't know. I mean, there's clues in the calico, right? You can look at a quilt. God, I thought I was muted. You can look at a quilt and you can look, the fabrics. There's clues in the fabric. There's clues in the dye and in the way a quilt ages and how people sewed things and what, and so forth. But, and I don't know that stuff. I don't know if I'll ever really be good at it unless I do an appraisal program, and you can become a quilt appraiser and go through a whole thing. I don't know. I think it's just learning about history and then sharing with you and often getting it wrong. And then you talk about it to someone else and they're like, I don't think that's true. I think it was a little bit different. Like last night, it's a good example. It's never really horrible, I hope, the things that I say that I might be not right about. I'm doing my best to share the excitement and the love of quilt history. That's what's really important. Last night, I said something about how Quilter's newsletter, when it started, was like a tri-fold piece of paper. I happen to know that Mary Kay Waldvogel was in the chat at that time, or she was watching the show. I was completely wrong. It was not that at all. And I realized that 20 minutes later. And if she was no longer watching, she would have gone away and been like, God, what a crack up. I do my best. I just want people to be excited. Sound is a bit lower. Interesting. Okay, I'm going to turn it up. I'm turning it up. I'm turning it up. Do you like it? Is it better? Ivy Kadivy, I want to walk on bacon. M. Hicks, what's going on, M. Hicks? What's happening with M. Hicks? I got to take care of you. Okay, sound is a bit lower, but what do you think? Is this better? Okay, I can turn it up more. It's hard to know, if sound is off or if it's your computer or whatever, because sound is so touchy. But this is better. I mean, I can turn it up a lot and then people can just turn down their stuff. Anyway. So, but thanks for letting me know. Walking on bacon. Walking on bacon. Ooh, I'm walking on bacon. Okay. Yeah, walking on bacon. It sounds good to me. Well, we're going to talk about this quilt. The first half of the show, was I don't know, it's different than sometimes it is, right? Because I just had to tell you about what was happening literally today, and that's nerdy. That's really nerdy. If you had a day like I had, that's quilt nerdy. I'm going to share with you about the artist who made this quilt and some other quilts that she has made. And then we'll see where we are with time, okay? Because I have some incredible quilts, old quilts, vintage quilts, images of them to show you from Tip Your Waitress, indeed, from Oklahoma. Some extraordinary, amazing, blow you away quilts from a book about Oklahoma quilts. And I want to show you some of them. If we end up not getting to them, they're on deck. They're on deck. You will meet them on Tuesday, when we have the next show, which is Tuesday at 7 p.m. Central. But we'll see. I don't know. I had to show you my quilt, and also I have to share with you about the puppy quilt that my mom has ready. I also want to share some announcements, but the first thing to do is to tell you that if you haven't subscribed to the show, I hope that you will. And I know Ms. Okra did something. Patty Okra? No. Anyway, our new Okra friend subscribed, and I'm really, or maybe you subscribed, or maybe you just, I think it was your first time chat. I don't know if you subscribed or not, but I hope you will. It's $4.99 a month. Yes, you did subscribe because you said you finally figured out how to do it through Amazon Prime, and you have a free subscription. I want to mention it, and I also want to say that I figured out I can do like an alert on screen that will appear like a few times throughout the show that reminds people to subscribe through Amazon Prime. Yeah, Twitch can do that. It's been able to do that since I started the show. Did I really know about that? Did I know that I should make time to do that? No, I've never done this before. I'm failing better live in front of people. Okay, so I'll be doing that. So I can remind people to subscribe with Amazon Prime and subscribe, period, without, pausing things and doing this. Also, if you want to join AQSG, the American Quilt Study Group, for a discounted rate, you can do that because you watch the show. If you go to the American Quilt Study Group's website, just Google American Quilt Study Group. If you sign up for a friend membership, usually it's $75 a year. For the first time ever in their organization's history, they have a coupon code for us. Yeah, Quilt Nerd 15, and you get $15 off. And so $60 for a year of American Quilt Study Group like perks. And I am a quilt museum person. I'm a International Quilt Museum board member. I'm a stan. I want to make lots and lots of money, so I can give them money. But I also have interest in supporting other organizations because it all goes together. And American Quilt Study Group, they're the nerds, man. They're the first nerds, and they publish journals and like articles. And if you want to like write something in Hicks, I'm looking at you. Like, there's people out there who are watching this show who like want to write something or contribute to this research that we all do about quilts and the stuff that we like. And that's where you get published. And we got to have the published stuff, because without it, the show would really, I use a lot of books on this show and a lot of stuff. So anyway, yes, thank you, Robin. Oh, you're so great. Oh, Robin, thank you. Thank you for being a mod. Thank you for being a great moderator. I appreciate you. Okay. So, I think the discount does apply to higher levels as well. Really? The discount code applies to higher levels as well. So no matter what level you sign up at, you get $15 off. Well, thank you, AQSG, and Kenny. Kenny also gets the Nerd Award for knowing things that many people do not know, including me, who arranged for the coupon code. So Patty Okra. Okay. Patty Okra, you guys. It's pretty difficult. So please don't ask me how I did it because I doubt I could do it again. It's hard to get past all of the game pictorials. Really? Oh, I don't like that. Here's what we think about that. Yeah, I know. I'm going to continue with the content, Patty, but I just want to tell you that Twitch is gamer heavy. It's not the only thing. Gaming content is not the only thing on Twitch, which we all know, and you know. But more and more, I think you're going to see other things because it's just the way things are going in culture. I think live streaming is a big thing. It's going to be a big thing. But just thank you for wading through all of that because, I don't know, no offense to all our amazing men and boys and guy friends and the men in the chat, but I don't know, there's something about the dude gaming thing that is just so visually unattractive, the Twitch thumbnails and stuff that are out there. It's just is this really compelling to people when they see these screenshot stills of like a gun, you know, it's just all so unattractive. We have pancake quilts on this show. Personally, I think it's a lot better looking. So I appreciate you, Patty, you know, getting through all of that. It's annoying. It's annoying. But bro culture, thank you. Thank you, Kenny. Kenny joined as a benefactor. Really. Need to make a note of that. Kenny, because I need to make a note of it. Okay. We have to take over Twitch one quilt program at a time. We're at the avant-garde. We're working on it. So speaking of avant-garde, let's look at this. This was made by a person, where are my notes? A person named Roz Cross. Now, her name is spelled R-O-S, Roz Cross. It might be Ross. I don't know for sure, but it's R-O-S-C-R-O-S-S. Roz Cross. And I have seen this quilt, this piece, over the years, and it's hard to forget because look at it, it's ridiculous. But I didn't know much about it because I had never really looked, and this show gives me an opportunity, a reason to look closer at things. And so when I was reading up on Rodka Donnell, really interesting quilt maker, who's passed away, but who made a lot of really interesting quilts and was at the forefront of the art quilt movement in the second half of the 1960s into the 1970s and beyond, Rodka Donnell. And I was looking at this exhibit catalog that she was in. Look at this. This is really an interesting thing. Look how she quilted all this and pieced that, you know, this drop of syrup. Cool, right? Even if you make coxcomb quilts and plume quilts, this is interesting stuff. You don't have to be a quilt maker who does art quilt things to look at the quilting. Look just the quilting on this bit of toast. You know, it's pretty cool. That shape might inspire you to do something on your quilt, you know? That's what this is all about. So, Rodka Donnell was in this exhibit in 1978. I can find out. Sorry, no, actually I know right now. 1976. The New American Quilt. It was at the Museum of Contemporary Crafts in New York City, and this piece was also in that show. And it was made by Roz Cross, and it was made in 1973. It's called Pancakes, Butter, and Syrup. Quilting Time says, a layer of peanut butter. Look at the peanut quilting. Oh, snap. You're right. It is peanut butter. Oh, peanut butter. Peanut butter French toast. That sounds really good. It sounds almost better than chips. I hadn't done quilt ASMR for a while. You're welcome. It's totally peanut. Very nice work. Very nice work. Of course you like peanut butter on pancakes, Padma. You are a living human being. Peanut butter on pancakes. Oh my god. I don't know. I like pecans in my pancakes. Anyway. Here's what's gonna happen. You're gonna learn. Look at this. Wait a minute. Look at this. Look at that egg. Look at that bit of egg. You know? Lemon curd. Kenny, stop it. It's because you're that right about lemon curd on pancakes. Okay. So Roz, I'm going to say Roz, almost like Roz, the New York Times cartoonist, okay? Look at this. Roz Cross was born in England and studied at the Royal College of Art before moving to California in the early 1970s. She worked in a variety of media over the years, from sculpture to drawing, painting, and monoprints. She's now living. And this is from Bob Shaw, The Art of the Quilt. So Bob Shaw talked about many times. He was the guy in Vermont who wrote about, he's written so much. You remember I showed you the apple orchard with the quilt, and it was his quilt. Oh yeah, we watched it was the Pottery Barn Kids thing or whatever. Anyway, he comes up all the time. Basically, just, you can call him Bob at this point, Bob. He comes up a lot. He's written a lot about quilts in the past 50 years. Okay. So this is by him because he represented her and sold some of her work, including quilts like this. And I'm going to show you. Look at this. Look. So it's this 3-dimensional stuff, you guys. His books on your coffee table, Mother Nature. Exactly. Yeah, the art of the quilt is great. So, okay. So early in her career, her art practice involved working with textiles in various ways. And for a few years, from 1973 to 1976, she evolved into making quilts, having become fascinated with the American quilt tradition, which was previously unknown to her. Her work with quilts was a journey of discovery and exploration into unknown territory, testing the formal and conceptual boundaries of quilt making practice, with almost no reference to the conventional forms, methods, and history of the traditional American quilt movement. This is from a blog, by the way, this picture, because there was an exhibit. I'll make sure to find you the blog from whence it came. I know I wrote it down at someplace. Look at this. Look at this. Look at these pieces, you guys. Now that is pretty interesting stuff. This 3-dimensionality. Right. Looks like foam core. Totally Bridgewater. Butter puff. Butter puff. I like pecans in everything, L. Riggs. Pat of butter. Yep. Yeah, I mean, this is really interesting construction, And what's kind of cool too, if you think about it, it's appliqued. I mean, they're attached. You could say they're attached, but they're appliqued too, Now that you've seen it up close, let me go back here and back here. It was almost as if she was looking to connect the worlds of contemporary art practice to the more traditional world of quilts, with results that in hindsight can be seen to be not only a successful and innovative merging of these hitherto different worlds, but also that point to the beginning of what has become known as the art quilt movement. So this is great. I forgot there was this one more. Look at that. Look at those little wedges. Look at those little scamps. Looks like broken ceramics. Yes. Chocolate turtles. Oh. Molly likes the outlier pieces. Hang on. Let me look. Hang on. Yeah. Oh, right. Oh my God. Right. The pieces that aren't even on the plane of the quilt. Amazing. I mean, it's like I saw it, but I didn't see it. That's why doing this together is way better than doing it alone. Yeah, there's pieces that aren't even on the quilt. Like Bob Shaw says, she was like, it was a journey of discovery and exploration into unknown territory, testing the formal and conceptual boundaries of quilt making practice, with almost no reference to the conventional forms, methods, and history of the traditional American quilt movement. Like, I think I'll say it for the record. What is more non-traditional to the quilt as a form than putting pieces of the quilt outside of the boundaries of the quilt itself? Like, that's wild. That's wild. There's pieces in the quilt that aren't even inside of it, technically. Now that is some cool. That's an artist's brain, We got to support our artists. We got to make sure they can do their work, because these are brains that we really want to be working, Who does that, right? Who does that? Who does it? Roz does. New take on the broken dishes block. Broken dishes. Love it. Pemberito says this captures the rage of touching a quilter's scissors. Exactly. Everybody's saying broken dishes. I love it. Okay, so this is called ice cream sandwich. Here's some more about Roz. Okay. Oh, no, sorry. Yeah, this is still from Bob Shaw. do I have a close-up? No, I don't have another picture of this, but you can see what's going on here. There's more three-dimensional work, and it's called ice cream sandwich. And it looks like ice cream is like blooming out of the squares, which I love ice cream. Have we talked about that? No. Okay. Maybe. The first quilts, back to Shaw. The first quilts Cross made after arriving in California were in part a reaction to the commercial consumer abundance she encountered. And also, they show a strong interest in the pop art movement. In particular, quilts such as Pancakes, Butter, and Syrup relate to the soft sculpture work of Klaus Oldenburg, with the accompanying tropes of transposition of materials, along with the enlargement of object scale. Cross had also been deeply impressed and influenced by Robert Rauschenberg's 1955 Combine bed. I can pull that up quickly if you'd like to see it. And in her earlier quilts, Pancakes and Broken, was that what we just saw? Was that? Yeah, the one we just saw was called Broken, okay? Broken worked with the notion of bed as art object, particularly with their use of accompanying pieces and rugs that are part of the work, though physically disconnected from the main quilt. By the way, did you see that in the pancake one? I'm sure you did, that there's a rug here. Probably someone mentioned it in the chat and I didn't see it in time. You see, that's woven. That's woven. It's poofing out. Exactly. The ice cream is just squidging out. It's just squeezing out. Okay. All right. Interesting. Different, a little different. Cross later moved away, excuse me, from pictorial work, encompassing influences as diverse as minimalism, arte povera, poor art, Japanese fabrics and aesthetics, the use of chance variations, and the use of unbleached muslin, binding tape, and cotton threads, which connect to the modernist maxim of truth to materials. Bob Shaw really, he's great. He writes good stuff about this topic, I think. Her later quilt work also emphasized the actuality of materials, cloth as physical cloth and sculptural object, rather than cloth as neutral base for narrative or pictorial representation. By the way, this is called Cotton's quilt. Cotton's quilt. And I don't know, you guys, I don't know what to tell you. Quilty Mouse just says bacon rug. Yeah. Those words have a lot of power. So yeah, this is a shift in direction. And I wonder, like, I can't tell you what more about this piece. It looks like tape, or a very, very thin woven thing. I mean, obviously the threads are hanging from the bits that she's got going on here. Oh, great. We have a closer, oh, thank God. Thank goodness. So there you go. So that's what you're looking at. I'll zoom in on it, but that's what you're looking at here. This quilt called Cotton's quilt. This is what you're looking at. So what looks like tape is this little, like, it's almost like a music, is it a staff? Is that what you call the music? No embroidery. No embroidery. Sheer ribbons. Mother Nature said it looked like sheer ribbons, but it wasn't. Music sheets, robin's nest. Same. Okay. Influences seen in these works include Robert Morris, Ellsworth Kelly, Saul LeWitt, and the concept of wu-wei, using chance and gravity in the appearance of the final work. Wu-wei. That's new to me. I was just talking about wabi-sabi with Caitlin Pike. But wu-wei, using chance and gravity in the appearance of the final work. And look, this is 1975. How cool. How cool is that? Forget a quilt label. Do it. Do it. Sign your quilts, on the front. You've earned it. You've earned it. Don't put it on the back. Enough. I'm canceling the back labels of quilts. So here's another. This 3-dimensional. This is called Flags. Flags. It's interesting, right? Isn't it? I mean, the pancake thing led me to her, and now I'm like, oh, wow. And as far as I can tell, there was this brief moment where she was doing quilts, and then she wasn't. And I can show you some of her latest work. Not quilts. And like, not quilts at all. And, you know, what I found was on Shaw's mostly defunct site, and then through this blog that I really appreciate. Dragonfly Quilts, blog post by Maggie Ball. Back in 2014, there was this exhibit, and Maggie Ball of Dragonfly Quilts took pictures, and I'm really glad she did, because some of the pictures that I'm showing you are from her blog. Okay. The scope of Cross's experimentation, sorry, let me just go on a little bit more, within the quilt genre in a 3-year period is remarkable. In Pancakes and Broken Quilt, we have quilt as conceptual bed object. In Flags Quilt and Cotton Quilt, this is Flags Quilt, the last one we saw was Cotton Quilt, we have a quilt as non-representational image on wall, with chance and gravity playing parts in the final form or image. Yeah, I mean, look, these things are hanging, and she can't say which way they'll hang, right? Look at that Roz Cross. All were conceived within the broader field of an art practice rather than a quilting practice, and therein lies their significance. After having explored the artistic possibilities of the quilt form from pop art object to minimalist textile statement to abstract wall sculpture, Cross maintained her interest in material investigation, though that work soon took her outside the quilt medium. Although Cross only worked in the medium for a few years and has made no quilts since Peeling Quilt in 1976, which I think I have. Oh, yes. Look, this, wait. No, I don't have Peeling Quilt. This is called Yellow Piping Quilt. It's not easy to tell what's going on here, but I have another view. Are those stitches with loose threads? Quilty Mouse, I think you saw the answer to your question, right? I think so. Interesting. Yep, the pancake was horizontal. Exactly. So let me this last one that I have, the last quilt I have to show you, you can better understand what's going on here by looking at this. Look at that. Looks like a butt. sorry. I couldn't help it. I spent all day with Azuri, and we just get so childish in our jokes. Sorry. It doesn't look like a butt. It looks like a sun coming up over a hill. Okay. I'm so sorry, Roz Cross. I can never show this to you now. I can never share this with you. Okay. So she made quilts from like 1973 to 1976, period. Okay? That's it. That's all. That's it. There's her signature again. Still, the significance of the work she made during this brief period attests to the perspicacity and innovation of her approach, and her work holds a significant and influential position in the early history of the art quilt movement. Yeah, this is huge. It's huge. For 3 years, she's like, hi, how you doing? Wha-bam, gotta go, you know? She's an artist. And this is from her website now. This is called Route Number 12. So, you know, we see quilts in everything. There are not quilts involved in everything. Obviously, a square inside a square is an eternal motif. It's an endless human mark. So, you know, I doubt that Roz Cross was like, I'm going to do something that looks like patchwork. I mean, I think she's looking at color and line and shape and movement and but of course we see a square and a square. This is something that's new for 2018. It's called Whereas Number 7. To me, looking at Rodka Donnell's work, this reminded me of Rodka Donnell, who was making work at the same time. But yeah, so this is what she's up to now, you know? And she's not doing quilts, and she didn't. She only did it for a few years. I'd like to see her make a quilt again. I don't know about you. But yeah, I mean, the pancakes. The pancakes. And this is her, Ros Cross. Pretty neat, huh? Like an economy block. Thank you, Pam. Economy block. Yeah. Interesting. Very interesting. If you just came in and you missed this. Yeah, it's pancake quilt. And you're right. I called that scrambled egg up here. It's obviously butter. Because the scrambled egg is in the French toast. It's part of the deal. You're soaking in it. So, okay. Everybody, I got to tell you. I am exhausted. I mean, I am so tired. Like, I'm feeling it to the point where when I took a break and went and freshened up, I was like, well, there's nothing you can do, Fons. I got up at like 5 a.m. both yesterday and today in order to do all that recording. So, and it's been such an amazing day. And I was with you last night and tonight. And you know what? I'm getting a little tired. Oh wait, I gotta get small because check this out. There's one more thing to do. I'm gonna save Oklahoma. I'm gonna save the Oklahoma quilts. It may not sound like much. Of course, we love our Oklahomans, and they are. Yeah, Oklahoma sounds like awesome to me, right? But if you are thinking it might be a sleepy kind of segment, thank you, my great cats. I need sleep. The Oklahoma quilts I have to show you they're so amazing. Like, it's a problem. Like, I have a lot of them that I want to show you, and so I've got half of them. I could do half, but no, we're not doing that. So on Tuesday night, just be here. Do not miss the show, because I'm going to share with you really amazing quilts from a quilt documentation project of quilts in Oklahoma anyway, you should come. So anyway, so what are we looking at? What is this? Help, I'm small. Help, I'm small. This is the puppy quilt. The last weird quilt that I bought, is that right? Was the puppy quilt. Such a bad picture. I need a really good picture of my puppy quilt. I looked for it. It was on the hard drive that crashed. But I have the quilt. I can take a picture of the quilt. This is one of the blocks from the quilt. And it's this wonderful little puppy. And yes, it's a tied quilt, and the ties became little pom-poms, and it's perfect. And every little dog has a different face, and all of the faces speak. I mean, these puppies contain multitudes. And everybody who was watching the show, when I showed that puppy quilt, you got it. You were like, yeah, like that's a great quilt, you know? And it's small. It's like, they called it a crib quilt on the website where I bought it, but it's bigger than that. It's a weird size. It's like, if twin is like 60 by 80, this is like 35 by like 50. It's a weird size. Oh, wait. Oh, yeah, and Pem, check out Pem's note. Add yourself to the Quilt Nerd directory so we can find each other and connect offline. Totally optional. Pem has spearheaded this, and I really appreciate it. So there's a link up there. Add or update yourself to the directory here. There's a Google Doc. Thanks to everyone who already has. And the directory, it's not like you're putting like your phone number and your address. It's, your social media stuff. And, where can we find you out there on the internet to follow your goings on? And so click that link up there. It's entirely safe, and it's a Quilt Nerd thing. And it'd be great. It'd be great to know who you are, because if you subscribe, you get to join the Discord. But if you don't subscribe, you can still be part of the community, and the show is always free. You can always tune in live and watch it for free. The subscribers get extra stuff. Word and Bird Nerd, you can't sleep. You're too late. Listen, you know what? You're not too late. You're right on time. Because check this out. You couldn't sleep, but it's because you knew that Marianne finally came correct and has well, here's what's weird. She doesn't have here's what she gave me, okay? So my mom drafted the little puppykins. We're calling it puppykins. She named it. It's the puppykins block. Puppykins, like Pupp, puppykins. puppykins. Yeah, it's really sweet. Warden Bernard, it's so good to see you. So that's puppykins, and this is the back of the block. So she did her applique, but she cut out the I mean, I don't know. When I applique, I just start appliquing things down. I just start like smashing them into fabric. But here's what here. This is the pattern. I mean, that's the pattern. That's it. Because that's what she gave me. That's all she gave me, you guys. That's it. That's all she gave me. But it should be what you need, because this is the shape of the thing, right? And so it's a 9-inch finished block. So she's done the measurements, so you know that this is gonna work out. And she's saying add a scant 1/4 inch seam allowance to pattern pieces. So those are the pattern pieces, okay? Does all that make sense? I mean, and the thing is, you cut out your different pattern pieces and you add a scant 1/4 inch to all the outside. And then you lay things out. I mean, obviously, let's look at the little puppykins. You know, you put your ears down first. And then you put your head. No, sorry. You put your ears down and you put your body down. Ears, tail, body, head. Anyway, you can work it out. It does. You know what? You know, Pam says, like, I love the vagueness. It's like with the Great British Baking Show, Mary Berry, you know, like the poor people, well, I mean, they're fine, they know what they're doing, but like the contestants will go into the kitchen tent and Mary Berry's recipe is like, make the meringue. Then, blah, blah, blah. And it's like, I'm sorry, but you just have to know how to make meringue to be on that show, I guess. But like, this is the same kind of thing. It's like, cut the pattern pieces, sew down thing. But it's great, and she did it, and this is the 9-inch finished size, and this is from my mom. And I thought it would be a nice way to end the show, because tomorrow's Mother's Day, and we started with a block that my mom made that was like totally charming. I mean, I feel like I'm gonna cry. And now we have the bookend of the show. Mom took the quilt that I love so much. She also loved the quilt, and she worked on it to be able to give to all of us. So the puppykins block. The puppykins block, everybody. So now the question is, where can I get it? You say, where can I get this document? Thank you, Miriam. MC John, I will tell her. It's a crack up. It's so very much a crack up. So Bonnie Village Quiltworks says, thank you to all the quilt nerds who are following me on Instagram. I try to keep Instagram just to quilt stuff. Listen, Instagram, it's like, it's a love-hate relationship, but it is fun to share things, you know, with fellow quilt people. And so it can be really fun. It is a crack up also. Oh, wow. Ivy Kadivi's grandmother would say in a recipe, quote, butter, you know, use the amount of butter that's the size of an egg. That was not a quote. I paraphrase, but like, just use enough butter, you know, use enough butter that's about the size of an egg. That's crazy. I do like your grandmother for using a lot of butter. You're welcome, Myra. You like your mom's better. I mean, you like mom's better than the original. This is kind of one of the jankier puppies on the quilt, but yeah, it's really sweet. So here's the deal. So you know where you're gonna get this good. This is a zip file. I've got the little picture of the puppy, the original. Got the picture of mom's block, the back of the block. Kind of see how she does it. I don't know. I don't do the cutting out of the second layer, but whatever. And then the thing that you can use to trace and draft. Where will this be? Why, it will be on the Discord. That's where it will be. Our Studio 54 chat room, basically. If you're new to Discord, if you're new to Twitch, don't worry about it. A lot of people will help you, but the Discord is where we hang out when the show's not on. And if you subscribe to the show, you get access to the Discord. And as our friend Patty Oker knows, you can subscribe for free through Amazon Prime if you're an Amazon Prime member. So, you know, and you don't have to subscribe through Amazon Prime. You can just kick $4.99 a month to Amazon owns Twitch. So if you're an Amazon customer at all, you can just like click, you know, the Amazon stuff. If you go to Twitch and try to subscribe to my channel, it should be pretty easy. Anyway, the point is that when you subscribe, you get to join the Discord, and I'm going to post this now, like right now, the zip file with the pattern and all this on the Discord in the lobby channel. It's pretty easy. So that's it's a perk. You get a Marianne Fons pattern for free, and it's a puppy. I think it's pretty good. I'm so tired. I'm like this, and I think I look tired. I look tired. Yes, Studio 54. Somebody said that our disco should be called Studio 54. Oh, and the reason that was weird is because Michael White, who I told you about at the top of the show, was designing for like Diana Ross. I forgot to mention that. But I mean, I forgot to mention that's why it was weird that someone said, oh, we should call our Discord, we should call the disco Studio 54, because a few minutes later I told you about an amazing person I met today who made patchwork clothing for for Diana Ross and Neil Armstrong and Shaka Khan and all of these amazing people. Disco, it was a theme tonight. So that's the scoop, y'all. I think you're great, and tacos in the chat and all of that good stuff. Excellent show. Thank you so much. I agree. It was a good one. And everybody, I'm going to put this in the Discord right now, so you do not have to wait. I want to end on this image. This crazy quilt. I love it so much. I love it so much. I hope you all have a great rest of your weekend. I'll see you Tuesday. The Thursday show, we're not doing the Thursday show these days, so I can focus on other parts of making this show. So this coming week, we got a show on Tuesday night at 7 Central and a show on Saturday night at 8 p.m. Central. So you better tune in, because there's only 2 nights. There's 2 nights you can see Quilt Nerd and hang out with your friends. So I hope you'll come back. Welcome to all the new people. Thank you to my subscribers. Thank you to my mods. And make sure you're following me so you get a notification when we go live. And that is that. Bye, everybody. I'm going to go to sleep.